Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chemistry with Capadia. Today I will be doing a tutorial on how to write formulas for compounds. So first we'll identify the type of compound, acid, ionic, or molecular, and then we'll use the rules for writing their formulas. All right, so our three types of compounds are ionic, acids, and molecular. Acids are the easiest to identify because they end with the word acid. For ionic compounds, we check to see if the first part of it is ammonium. If it is, then it's ionic. Then if it's not ammonium, we check to see if it's a metal. If it is, that means that it is ionic. If it is not a metal, it means it's molecular. So if we look at our periodic table here, we can identify metals and nonmetals. We draw our line through our metalloids. Everything to the left is a metal. Everything to the right is a nonmetal. Right, so we can use this to identify if it's a metal or a nonmetal, and therefore identify if it is ionic or molecular. So how do we go about doing this? So we check to see, does it end with the word acid? If it does, then it is an acid. If it does not, then we see if it starts with ammonium. If it does start with ammonium, it's ionic. If it doesn't, does it start with a metal? If it does, it's ionic. If it doesn't, it's molecular. Again, metals are on the left side of the periodic table. Nonmetals are on the right. Okay, rules for acids. If the prefix is hydro, then we just do H and the element, and then we cross charges. The charge that we use is the one from the periodic table. If there's no prefix, there's no hydro, then we check the ending. If the ending is IC, that means that is the ATE version of the polyatomic ion. So we find that on the back of our periodic table on our formula sheet. We write the polyatomic ion in the charge, and then we cross charges. If there's no prefix and it has an OUS ending, then that means that it is the ITE version of our polyatomic ion. So I ate something icky and I bite something delicious. It's a way to remember that. And then again, if our number values for our charges are the same, they cancel. If not, then we cross. For ionic compounds, we write the cation symbol with the charge. If there's a Roman numeral that's given, that's what tells us what the charge is. Then we write the anion symbol, and then again, we cancel our cross charges. And then molecular compounds are the easiest. We write the symbol for the element that's given, and then we use the prefix to determine that subscript. Same thing with the second element. There are no polyatomic ions in a molecular compound, so if you find yourself looking at a polyatomic ion that you think is molecular, then you are incorrect. It's ionic, and we go back and we use the rules of finding ionic compounds. Let's do some examples. So here we have strontium arsenite. So the first thing we do is see, is it an acid? 'Tis not, because it does not end in acid. So now we look at strontium. Strontium is here on my periodic table, which means it's a metal, so this is going to be an ionic compound. All right, so strontium is Sr, it's in group 2, so it has a 2+ charge. Arsenite ends in ITE, meaning that's a polyatomic ion. So if we look at our formula sheet, we'll see that arsenite is ASO3 with a 3- charge. 2+, 3- don't cancel, so I switch. 2 comes over here, 3 goes over here. So I have Sr3, and then because this is a polyatomic ion, I have to put it in parentheses, and then the 2 goes on the outside. Next up, we have dichlorine monoselenide. We can see here that there are prefixes, which means that we know that it is going to have to be molecular, because the molecular compounds are the only ones that have prefixes. But if we go through the motions, I have no acid on the end, which means it's not an acid. Chlorine on the periodic table is on the right, so it's a nonmetal, so that means it is molecular. All right, so that means that I look at my prefixes for the subscript and then just the elements for the elements. So di is 2, chlorine is Cl, mono is 1, and then selenide is selenium, which is Se. So this is just Cl2Se. Whenever you have 1, you don't have to put the 1 there, but you can if you want to. So it's just Cl2Se. Next up, we have boric acid. It ends in acid, so that means that this is an acid. So acids are always H plus an anion. Since there's no hydro, this is not the element form, it's the polyatomic form. So I go to the end, I ate something icky, so this is borate. So borate, if I look at my formula sheet, is BO3 3 minus. So acids always start with H, so H is a 1 plus charge, BO3 3 minus. Those do not cancel, so the 1 comes over here, the 3 goes over here, and I get H3, BO3. All right, next up, disilicon pentanitride. So again, prefixes mean that it's molecular, but just to double check, this doesn't end in acid, so it's not an acid. Silicon here is a metalloid, which means it falls on the nonmetal side, so this is molecular. All right, di is 2, silicon is Si, penta is 5, nitride is nitrogen, which is N. Si2, N5. Next up, we have lead 4 nitrite. It does not end with acid, so it's not an acid. Let's find lead. Lead is here, which means it is a metal, so that means that it is ionic. Lead symbol is Pb. The charge is given to me by my Roman numerals here, so that's a 4, right? And then nitrite ends in ITE, so that means that it's a polyatomic ion. So if I look at my chart, I see that that is NO2 1 minus. Those do not cancel, so the 4 comes over here and the 1 goes over here. Since it's just a 1, I don't have to put that there. There's a 4 with the NO2. Since it's a polyatomic ion, I do have to put that in parentheses, and the 4 goes on the outside. Next up, hydrofluoric acid. So this is an acid because it ends in acid. This hydro prefix means that I'm looking at the element version. So the element version here would be fluorine. So fluorine is F. It's in group 17, so it's a 1 minus charge. All right, so always start with H. So H is a 1 plus, F is a 1 minus. Those cancel. So my formula is just HF. Gallium sulfide. This is not an acid, so let's consult our periodic table. Gallium is here, so that's a metal, so that's ionic. All right, so gallium was in group 13, so that's a 3 plus. This ends in IDE, so that means it's the element form, so that's sulfur, which is in group 16, so it's a 2 minus. Those do not cancel, so we cross 3 here, 2 here. No polyatomic ion, so I don't need parentheses. Ga2, S3. All right, next tetracarbon, nonofluoride, not an acid. So our first element here is carbon. Carbon is here, which means it's a nonmetal, which means this is molecular. All right, tetra is 4, carbon is C, nana is 9, fluoride is fluorine, which is F, C4, F9. Right. Oxygen monofluoride. It's not an acid, so we'll consult our periodic table. Oxygen, O is a nonmetal, so that means it is molecular. No prefix means it's just 1, so I have O for oxygen, mono is also 1, and then F for fluorine. If you remember, when you only have one of the first element, you don't put mono in the front, which is why there's no mono there. So this is just oxygen and fluorine of OF. Next up, barium thiosulfate, not an acid, so we check our periodic table. Barium is here on the left, which means it's a metal, which means this is ionic. Right? Barium is in group 2, so that's a 2 plus charge. Thiosulfate, 8 means it's a polyatomic ion, so I check my formula sheet and I see that thiosulfate is S2O3 with a 2 minus charge. Those cancel, and I get BaS2O3. Since there is no subscript here, I don't have to put that in parentheses. If you want to, you can. Nothing bad happens. Let's do a couple more. Sulfurous acid. This is obviously an acid. All right, so we check our name here. There's no hydro, so it's not the element form, it's the polyatomic ion form. So I look at the ending, OUS, I bite something delicious. So this was sulfite originally, which is SO3 2 minus. H plus and SO3 2 minus. Those do not cancel, so I cross. I have H2, and since I only have one SO3, I don't have to put that in parentheses, and I get H2SO3. All right, one more, lithium dichromate. This is not an acid. So we check our periodic table. Lithium here is way on the left, so it's definitely a metal. So this is definitely ionic. All right, Li, group 1, which means it's a 1+ charge. Dichromate ends in ATE, so it's polyatomic. So I look at my formula sheet, and dichromate is Cr2O7, 2-. Those do not cancel, so I cross. 1 here, 2 here, and I get Li2, Cr2O7. All right. This has been another episode of Chemistry with Capadia Tutorial Edition. I hope you learned something, and until next time, keep on chemin'.